Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bullsdorf Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. I don't know. I don't feel like that was...
You like Christopher Walken there for a moment?
Right. Was that Walken?
It felt a little Walken-like. I don't understand.
I'm walking here. Yeah. Get it? All right, cool. All right, we got episode 3, season 3, folks. So we've heard from a couple coaches. Our first episode out of the gate for season 3 was head coach Tyler Chapa, and then we followed it up by brand new shiny coach
Ben Brummer.
Or Brumley.
Brumley.
Depends on where you're at.
Maybe I'll just have to have him change his name.
That would be easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're probably, when you're going to do the PA, you'll be like,
no, I just can't stop.
Defensive line coach Ben Brumley.
I feel like I'll get it by then. I've got months. So. Yeah, months.
I really hope so. Yeah, so we got our third episode, and of course, we're now getting to the point where we need to start bringing in some of our studs and team captains. Yes.
Ooh, El Capitan. Yeah.
Capitan. Yeah. So, Mr. Jorge Rivera, number 29 in your program, folks. Is that going to be your name? Well, that's going to be your name.
We'll call you number 29 from now on. But I will do.
Is that going to be your number next year? Now that you're kind of getting to be king of the hill up there, bud.
Well, I haven't really thought about my number too much.
Do you care?
No, not really.
I love guys like that.
Right. Well, you do. Yeah.
Well, absolutely, I do. I hate. I like for the spring game. Okay, you'll get guys come in. Coach, you gave me number, 73. That's Gavin's number, so I can pick on him. And Gavin wouldn't say that, but it's like, yeah. Well, I don't care what you want, because, all you got to do is tell your mom and dad, I'm 73. Look for me. I'll be out there. There's a 7 followed by a 3.
Mm-hmm. I'd like my number to be pi, just the symbol pi.
That's not bad. 3.14.
Make every time I would commit some sort of infraction, I would want the referee to have to announce the entire number.
That'd take a while.
Yeah, it would definitely
take a long time.
3.14, but I don't know the rest of it.
314,292 something. It goes on.
Very good. It goes quite. It's like a paragraph. Yeah.
George, how far can you recite pi?
Not too far past 1415.
Oh,
okay.
Well, you went farther than I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 15 after that.
I didn't have any idea.
Well,
yeah, anything like that. So George hails from a town far, far away from here. It's we got trouble
right here in River City
with a capital T, and that
rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
Oh, I was going to say it rhymes with G, but he doesn't spell his name with a G.
Correct. A subject of conversation in previous episodes, and also once on the PA.
So, George, your name is spelled Jorge, which to some folks around here, not myself, but Troy believed it was Jorge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's the way it's spelled. And also, I once was watching, what's the Spanish television, like a Spanish television network? Telemundo, sure, let's say it's that one. Okay. And they were talking about George Bush, which is spelled with a G, and they said Georg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They didn't say Jorge.
I've never heard that. I've been called Jorge quite a lot, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. I want to know, when the first time you heard your name over the PA from Troy and he called you Jorge, did you want to go up there and slap him in his face?
No, it actually made me laugh.
Oh, really? Right.
Mm-hmm. Good. Because I always had that happen to me in high school. Mm-hmm. I would get one announcer who would call me George, and then one announcer who would call me Jorge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's been a thing going on your entire life.
Oh, yeah. All
right. And I don't think that's going to be wrong from our standpoint here on the podcast or from the PA.
No.
So, because you're well known.
Yes.
So you kind of had your breakout year last year, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Sure did.
Now, because, how tall are you?
Oh, not tall. Probably about 5'9".
That's what it says on the roster.
Okay, so you're 5'9", and I don't know how much you weigh, but you're stronger than an ox.
Probably about 180.
About 180, which is, I mean, for a 5'9" frame, and he's got body fat of about 2.5%. But so I think a lot of people underestimate you, but the thing is, he's faster than lightning.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
Teach speed.
No, you can't teach speed. So is that something that has always been your advantage coming up? And I never actually did say that you were from Mason City. We talked about River City. And so a lot of folks around here would get that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe folks listening may not
Big
have.
Meredith Wilson fans will be, with 2 L's, will be all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So is that something that's always given you the advantage throughout your career?
Yeah, for the most part. And all throughout high school, I was actually really physical. I like defense more than anything. So being able to get down the field and then make contact before anyone else was always a super big advantage.
So when you were recruited here, was it like, we don't know if we're going to put you at wide out or D-back?
Well, so when I got recruited here, the only reason that I actually got recruited was because I had went to a camp. And at that camp, I had showed up as a wide receiver.
Okay.
So then they recruited me as a wide receiver.
All right. Who was the coach? Was it Coach Finley?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember who the receivers coach was way back then.
Oh, I think at the time it was
years ago.
Oh man.
Who was it?
That's a great question. Oh, was it Brody Rohat? Because he was the OC.
He was the quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Coach Bo.
Oh, Coach Bo.
He is the one who recruited me.
Okay. Yeah, good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had heard tell that he was coming up last year around homecoming, and he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right, so you're going to be a junior, is that right?
Senior.
You're going to be a senior, like I said.
Yeah.
And
said it.
Yeah.
Just now.
Yeah. So you're. We had. You were that breakout piece last year that a lot of people underestimated because we had Malik Adams out there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Dom
Watt. Jeez, all I could think I only had a V in my head, and that was not right. So Dom Watt, and those guys were going to take a lot of focus, big physical receivers, and then you come in and you made some big catches in games.
Mm-hmm.
What is that even like? I've never caught a ball in my life, I feel like.
Well, in your life,
Yeah.
I feel like you catch balls on the sideline all the time.
No. I avoid them.
Okay.
Well, before this last fall, in the spring, getting prepared for this season, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. Sure. I didn't know if I was going to come back and be a starter, if I was going to get any play time, how it was going to go at all. So when I came back and I got that first touchdown of the season, it felt really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was definitely like no other feeling I felt before. That's for sure.
That's great. So you've been on the team from day one. What have you seen, like the evolution of Waldorf football in your time here?
I've seen a lot of people leave.
Yeah.
And I've seen the highest highs. I've seen the lowest lows.
Right.
And it's really been an amazing journey, especially leading up to now, because it's brought me so much knowledge and insight to how coaches can come and go and how players can come and go when they say they might want to be here, but their actions show different.
Yep.
And it's been an amazing journey. That's all I can say.
Isn't that such a huge part about what you guys do out there is how you react to adversity? And you hear it every week, and I've seen it in the scouting report. Bad things are going to happen, how you respond to it. I've never, in my time on the sidelines, I've never seen you act poorly. Is that about your upbringing? Is that just your general, you're not going to let stuff like that get to you? How does that work for you?
I think it is my upbringing and how my coaches taught me all throughout high school, because I had seen a lot of guys that let their emotions get the best of them, and they'll get back in the coach's face, or they'll try to make calls when they think that they know what they're talking about, but they might not. And I've always just seen that and never really allowed myself to get to that point, because I'm trying to think of how to put it. I don't want my ego to drive how I'm playing. So I'd rather focus on where I went wrong, talk to a coach, see what I can do better, and just focus on the next play rather than dwelling on what I did bad or what could have went better.
Right. Yeah, and that has a lot to do with championship culture. You know, I've spent quite a bit of the off season trying to read up on that. I've sent our coaching staff some of that information that I've kind of gleaned off of there, and it's really they say when you're looking at film, find the guy that messed up, and it's it's honest mistakes. People make mistakes. We're human, but at the same time, maybe he got flagged. Maybe he didn't run the right route or missed an assignment or whatever. That they say that's what you need to focus on in your films. How did they react? And change that, because if they can shake it off, get over the sidelines, take your chewing if that's going to come to you, look the coach in the eye, and just make sure it happens and that you learn from it, you're going to be better off every day, because of that.
Oh yeah.
You usually have something to say, Troy.
Sorry, I was making a note for something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you know how to write.
I do. I mean, I'm the only one that can read it, but that's handy that way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you had, when you talk about the highs are always easy to pinpoint, typically when, look, when you receive the ball, your average yards are in the double digits. And so, that's amazing with the yardage that you get. So, that's something that we saw last year and look forward to again this season that's coming up this fall. But, let's talk a little bit about the lows, because you talk about overcoming adversity and look, there are some times I wrote the note I was writing was not driven by ego, and I really appreciate that, because first of all, it takes a little bit of effort to be a football player in the college realm. That takes you got to have something that drives you, and so with that often comes a little bit of ego, and there is some status. Certainly, if you're a football player on a college campus, look, there's definitely worse places to be than having that status, which is pretty good. And sometimes I suppose that can get wrapped up a little bit. And I'm sure that you've seen, like you said, people have come and they've gone. And, one of the things that I've noticed in the years just associated with the program, some folks come in and they're like, I was recruited. I was supposed to be playing for Florida State. Oh, yeah. But, and it's like, yeah, but you're not. You're here, and we've got some work to do. Mm-hmm. And so how much time does it take or has it taken, I guess, to get over some of those humps of saying, well, listen, this is where we are. This is who we are, and now you're a part of this program, and we want. The sooner, I suppose, that you can get over those backstories of, well, I was recruited by this, that, and the other thing, and because then you can really get to work. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the sooner the better. Yeah. And then how many of those guys do stick around?
Well, ever since my freshman year, I would say that hump is just now starting to be on the rise. Mm-hmm. We're starting to get over it right now, and we're starting to weed out all of those people that are driven by their egos, mm-hmm. and who thought they were brought here to be athletes or do maybe whatever they want on the field. Mm-hmm. Just go out there and play, when really that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a team that is going to stick together and come to the same goal at the end of the day. And quite honestly, probably about half, if not a third of those guys that came here and were driven by ego are still here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because the rest of them, they came, got the experience, wasn't what they were looking for, they're gone now.
Right. And then now, as a team captain, you've got that leadership role, and I can tell by your demeanor already that that's going to be a huge benefit. One of the things that Coach Chapa mentioned right away in the first episode now of season 3 of the Gridiron Club podcast. He was saying, listen, we had, our coaches on board. You guys had your team meetings, and they're saying, listen, this guy over here, he took a pay cut. He's here for this. He's here for that. Our coaches are here because we're ready to win. We are ready to be in the GPAC and do amazing things. And now make sure that everybody else is on board too. Yes, is everybody on the bus? Are they getting on?
Yes, sir.
That's
yes, sir.
good.
We've definitely gotten quite a lot of hats on board now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and as a team captain, that's part of your job too. I think Coach Chop has been pretty clear about that he can do it as much as he wants, and he's going to lean on you guys a heck of a lot more. Yeah. Now, you have meetings with him quite often. What are some of the things that he likes to stress to you guys as captains and leaders?
One thing that he always stresses about is guys' focus and how they're paying attention to details and what the coaches are actually telling them. So are they going to take criticism, and are they going to apply it to their lives? So are they going to show up to practice on time? Are they going to show up to lifts on time? Are they going to show up every day, do their assignments, know the plays? And that's like one of the biggest things right now that Chop is focused on, because if we can all learn our stuff, come together, then it makes it a hell of a lot easier at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So you said you came in and you're like, I actually like playing defense. You got recruited as a receiver. That's the role that you're in. Mm-hmm. So between offense and defense, and obviously you spend most of your time now with the offense, clearly, jump back to the ego question, and I don't want to put you in a jeopardizing situation here, but is there more ego on the offense than there is on the defense, or is it the other way around, or does it just it is what it is?
Ooh, I think it fluctuates day by day.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes when the offense gets rolling, then the egos are way up here.
Yeah.
And the defense might be down here. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then it flips and get switched just like that.
Keeps it in check. That's good. That's what a team should do. Mm-hmm. So, one of the things that the Gridiron Club has been doing since last year is recognizing our players, but also our scout team players too, and how much of an effort that they make. And so some of those guys that you may not hear their names on a Saturday, they make you guys better.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. We've had quite a lot of freshmen that came in this last fall that have been pushing the offense every single day in scout team. Whenever we get the chance to go against them, they'll give us a good look.
Good.
Yeah, and Troy brings up a point about, the egos and if it's offense and defense, but it's like, let's be honest. Is there anything more egotistical than a defensive back in this world? I'm not talking about just our guys. But man, they're loud. And I love it. I do. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But those guys, they're the...
Yeah.
They like talking, don't they?
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've got the advantage on the offense of knowing the count and the play, and that's about it. Everything else after that is an uphill battle, and you've got to find a way to get past the defense. They say defense wins championships. I think that is probably true in most sports. If you can defend your goal, then you're going to be in a lot better position. So being a part of the offense, getting out there and making those TDs occur, or just advancing the ball, getting the first downs, which we love to call as well. That's another warrior first down, right? And getting the crowd fired up. You had a hand in quite a few of those. So, what gets you fired up?
Just seeing the team fired up in our success. So every time that we can stack one play on top of one play, and then a first down on a first down, and those first downs add up to a touchdown, that's what makes me happy. Like, that is what drives me, because the process during the journey is always going to be a lot better than that end outcome that you're looking for. So I've been trying to focus really on that process of where we're trying to get instead of that angle.
Well, there is nothing more demoralizing to a defense than an offense that can just continue to move that ball in without
We've
seen it both ways, haven't we? And so it's great when we can do it, and then it's frustrating for our defense when someone does it to us. So
I'll never forget it was 2 seasons ago, the Simpson game, and it was like that for us. I mean, it was just march down the field, score a touchdown, stop them, get a turnover, and I just remember we would have some great play, and of course, most of us are watching downfield, watching somebody run into the end zone or get down there deep. Not me. I'm looking at the other sideline and seeing guys with their hands up. And my favorite is the surrender cobra, right there.
The hands are on the head.
Cobra.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've done that, and again, we've also experienced that. But that's called football, and that's some of the great parts.
Being a local guy, from Iowa, I know that Coach Chapa and the coaching staff loves having the talent from all over the country like we do, but they are focused on bringing in that talent from the more regional area. You're from Mason City, just 30 miles down the road, and how do you feel about that?
It's pretty nice because I get to go home just about whenever I want. Like last week, I had to go home and watch my dog every single day, so I would just drive back and forth. But it's super nice. In high school, I actually did transfer to Clear Lake for 2 years. So when looking at this program, it reminds me a lot of when I was back at Clear Lake because they had Jared DeVries, who was a former NFL player, and he ran that program just like how we're trying to get our program to go right now. And
good.
It was quite an amazing process to be along.
Yeah, DeVries was always a frustrating coach to play against, as I call the ball also for the Indians. And we saw you guys every year and didn't make our lives easy at all.
Definitely not.
And before that, there was a guy before you were there named Fred Week.
Yep.
And Fred was also notoriously a very good football coach and had a great program as well. And boy, that was always tough to. And I saw one time, I think I told you this, Andy, but it was a Forest City Clear Lake game at Forest City, and Fred Week was the coach. And he'd been a football coach since Christ was a corporal. And the officials, I don't think that they saw exactly what happened on the far sideline. And they asked him what he thought happened. And I was like, well, that's not how this works. Like, you don't ask the other coach what happened.
What do you think? Was that DPI? Yeah. There was.
Oh, boy. Yeah. He's like, oh, he was in bounds. I'll tell you that. He was in bounds where I was standing. I bet he was, Fred. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Clear Lake's a good ball program.
Always has.
Good rivalry there between the hometown high school program and Clear Lake. Just some good football in North Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
And really, and across the state of Iowa, football is, where I guess we're known nationwide for our wrestling, but I would say that our football program, well, now women's basketball, but I would say our football programs across the state are pretty significant. And I think that, when Clear Lake had been a 3A school,
Yep.
And they dropped down in numbers. So then they went to 2A. Didn't you probably played when they were at 2A? Yeah. So I think Fred found out pretty quickly that 2A ball is harder than 3A ball because the schools that you were playing, I mean, there's not a ton of 3A schools in the state. So you're kind of playing the same folks over and over again, dealing with Decorah and that type of thing. And then you got into 2A.
You get Waverly, Shell Rock, and stuff.
All of a sudden.
Walk-on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, were you part of the walk-on game when they in the playoffs? I don't know exactly what the.
Ooh, no.
That would be before you a little bit. Yeah, I listened to that game. Yeah,
I think I was there 2 or 3 years after that.
Yeah. Okay. I will say this, Andy, too. I might have told this story before, but in the press box at Forest City, you have you got all of the you got the radio station. KIW is right next to me on my left, and then on my right, and they're in their own little rooms, but you obviously can hear. It's not soundproof like the studio. And those the Clear Lake guys, they travel with, like 4 dudes. You got Bob Fisher from KGLO or whatever he is, KLGA or whatever. And then, so he's like the guy that calls the game. And he's got like 3 old dudes from Clear Lake that they have been like, he's got 3 color people that just that help him call the game, and they are total homers, and it's hilarious.
As they should be.
As they should be, and rightfully so. It's a good program over there, and Clear Lake is always a fun school to visit. And I did listen to, of course, I heard the defeat of, I was right there. I watched it. I called the game. And then to my right, I'm listening to those three guys plus Bob next door talking about how awesome Clear Lake, the Lions, were and everything that they did. And I was like, oh, for the love of God. And then I listened to the game when they played Walk On. Okay. Walk On came over, and that was the first time that that was their first year in 2A ball, and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we weren't, of course, in Forest City. But then we went into that, and I listened to those guys, and they started off that game, and they were like, this is going to be it's going to be a murder. We're just going to annihilate them. They just talking about everyone. And they had great players and all that stuff, but they had never met Walk On before. No. And then Walk On rolled in, and it was a terrible night for football. It was sleeting. It was bad weather. And I think by the end of the first quarter, Walk On was up by 3 touchdowns. I don't know if Clear Lake had scored, and those guys were a lot quieter.
I don't think so.
And I was driving home from work listening to this game where I was across the state, and I was like, okay, boys. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So, George, what's some of your favorite moments? You talked about your touchdowns and stuff like that, but what are some of those other, moments that maybe not everybody gets to see that are some of the things that stands out for you being part of the program?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd have to say, like this year, one of my favorite things that we've done was boot camp for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I heard a lot about that.
Oh, yeah. I loved that we were out there every morning, 6 a.m.
Yep.
And we were just, what was it? What was I going to say?
He had you guys going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Held everybody accountable to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One guy makes a little mistake, and who has to pay for it?
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Team concept. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're only as fast as your slowest guy. You're only as strong as your weakest guy. And
Yes, sir.
You got to cross that finish line together.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the things you had you guys doing?
So we would go out there and we would do every Monday. It would be almost the same drills, but they would be mixed up. So we would do some sort of change of direction, and then we would do mat drills, and we would do some sort of blocking drill, but it wouldn't be like necessarily a blocking drill. It would just be to get our hands and our feet working and moving. Then we would do rope drills and just a lot of different things. They switched it up a lot this year. Rather than showing up every day doing the same 5 groups over and over again, and just going through the motions.
Now you're on the field with that at Bullstore Field.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 o'clock in the morning, lights are on, and regardless of the temperature. But we've had a pretty good.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. So the week we're recording this, it turned colder. But
yeah. Dang.
Yeah. This is probably about the second coldest week that we've had throughout this off season.
Yeah.
And fortunately, actually, we only had to miss one boot camp due to weather. So it was actually really nice.
All right.
We got to go just about the whole boot camp without stopping.
Well, it's good. So, what are some of the things outside of football that you like to do?
Yeah. How does Jorge
Study.
Rivera spend his time?
I like to study.
Yeah.
Go to class.
No. I do like to study, keep up with my work.
And what are you majoring in?
Health promotion and exercise
Okay.
science.
All right. Very good.
With the focus of being a physical therapist.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
But outside of sports, I just like to focus on school, my diet. I'm really health focused, so I like to.
Don't be judging
Yeah, me too.
us,
No, not at all.
We're
What'll you have? That's a commercial from the 80s.
Yeah, PB Army.
Yeah.
agency.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Troy and I may be enjoying an adult bit.
That's a pre-workout.
I've got my pre-workout.
Workout.
That's my
C4.
It's my pre-bedtime. I just want to go night-night.
That's right. Yeah.
A little melatonin.
Something like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
You focused on your diet. You're now you're senior this year. So do you have an additional season you could play, or
I
what's
do.
the plans there?
I do. So I could come in this next fall, not this
25.
Right,
yeah. Fall of 2025 and play that year. But I haven't really decided yet if I'm going to come back or not, because depending on how school ends up going, I might just finish off my school. And then my plans were originally, when I first came here, were to get my degree, and then I was going to get certified, and I wanted to move out to somewhere out of state. I was thinking either Texas or somewhere nice. Somewhere where I could get
Have you been to
out of
North
this
Dakota?
Yes.
Yes, you have been.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, of course.
That's a nice part of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
There must be a reason they have less than 1 million people.
There is.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah. Anyway.
My wife's from North Dakota, so they got good ones up there.
Well, my family is
Bring them down
originally
here.
from North
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Well, my mom's side.
There you go. Well, if you move on to those places, though, that would, I mean, and then the idea, do you have to get a graduate degree to do what you want to do?
So for physical therapy, I would definitely, I would have to go to a graduate school just so I could finish out the courses that Waldorf does not offer. And then whenever I finish with those courses, then I would be able to go straight into it.
Okay.
But I would love to play football for as long as I can.
Absolutely.
So coming back in 2025 is a high possibility.
All right.
It's a finite time that you get a chance to do this.
He's right.
You know, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, obviously, but at the same time, it's one of those things that I don't know anybody. I've got a group of high school friends that we all played football together in high school, and it's we always take a trip every year, and the same conversation comes up. If you could suit up one more time, would you? And we all think that yes would be the answer, but then you start talking, like you've seen the commercial with like Emmitt Smith, where as an old man, he goes back and plays and can't hardly get off the couch the next day. We start thinking that way too.
Right.
So
He's right. It's a finite period that you have in your life, the ability to play the game that you love, to have that experience, not just on Saturdays, but as you were speaking about, just the process of getting to that point. The hard work is always done in the off season.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like you guys are making a go of that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. How do you feel about the new conference that we're entering?
I think it's going to be great competition, and I've actually been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Just because we're always playing Dickinson, Valley City, all these other schools.
maybe,
But we never get to see those higher levels of competition that we're always talking about getting to.
Yeah.
So being able to play those levels of competition throughout the regular season is a great advantage, because it brings us more insight into what we're actually going to be playing against, like further down the road.
I think this 24 season is going to be an exciting test. We are, as fans, all excited and confident in our abilities of our Warrior football team. None of us play, but we say our and us as if we do. Oh, yeah. And you're going to step right into the arena there, and there's some teams, I think, just looking at the numbers, you should say, we'll have no problem beating them based on what we've done in the past. And then I know that there's some teams out there based on the numbers that you go, well, that's going to be a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't shy away from that.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and we were looking in with the first episode of the season. We were looking at the schedule with Coach Chapa, and the real bright spot that stood out to me is that we are playing 10 games.
Yep, 10 games, 10 different
10
teams.
different teams.
That's
That's something new for us.
Yes,
it is.
Because usually it's like, we got Dakota twice, or we got Valley twice, we got Dickinson twice. Last year was, with the exit of Iowa Wesleyan and presentation, then it's like we got to play everybody twice.
Yeah, a little weird situation there with that conference, but now it's a, this year we kind of start our season with a lot of away games early.
Yeah.
We have one home game. That's our second game, not a conference game. St. Francis, they were tough on us last year, so we'll be looking forward to paying them back in September of this year, and then hit the road again for a few games, and then we do come back. And then actually the end of our season, well, the very last game is away, but I think there's a good period of time where we're at home every Saturday, which is going to be awesome for the tailgate and for the community. Best time of the year, the fall weather.
You bet.
Can't beat it.
It's a great environment.
Yeah, and I think the last guy, I'd have to look it up where we're going exactly, but I think that's an away game, the last game, and pretty sure of that. And everything is either south or west, or south and west.
I think the last game is Dort, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, directly west then. Yeah.
And that's not that's
a
not
couple
get on the
hours.
bus on Thursday and hopefully
Right.
get there by Friday morning.
Right.
That's going to be one of those you can get on the bus on Saturday morning and be over there in time for pregame.
Well, and that's something we haven't really talked about. If you have to leave and go, on a 10.5, 11-hour bus trip, and you're breaking it up over a day or two to get there, like we were doing in the previous conference, that takes a day or two of practice. I know you stop and you do your warm-ups and you do all of that, but you're not really getting the same thing. You don't have the same type of practice experience. You don't have all of your gear. The coaches aren't in their environment. They're trying to do the best they can, and you guys are trying to adapt to wherever it is. I know you guys have stopped at North Dakota State and different places like that, and had some of those moments, and that's cool to see. But at the same time, you're not at your home field. You're not really you're practicing, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So now you'll have the ability to be there all week and continue your regular scheduled practice and really dig into it, which is important.
Yeah. And it definitely helps with the preparation of games.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be nice for the fans. It's going to be nice for you guys because I don't know. There may not be any overnights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I'm not in.
I bet there'll be some overnights for the fans.
Might have to make a few of those.
Knowing our fans and our tailgating crew, those might all be overnights.
Yeah, best not drive.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That does happen. Yeah. So one of the things that I was curious about coming into this season with the exit of Malik Adams, are you guys going to have a drawing or some sort of vote to decide who takes their shirt off after every practice and every game?
I think it'll just be whoever steps up and takes his spot. I think I might have to do it.
Leaders lead.
Oh, yeah.
George.
Oh, yeah.
Leaders lead. Might as well be. And it didn't matter if it was 20 degrees in November or 90 degrees. Malik, boom. He always said, I like wearing shirts.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know how that was going to go. And
Right.
you guys had to vote on who's going to be the shirtless guy this year.
Oh, yeah. Show up to every meeting with my shirt off.
It's going to be Nico.
Nico or Kiangelo, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we could do
That
it.
shirt's coming off.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tent for one of our tailgaters over here.
Well, and
yeah.
again, if Nico or Kiangelo are walking around without shirts, are you going to be the one to tell them to put our shirt
I
on?
wouldn't say a word.
No.
No way.
You look great, bro.
Yeah.
See ya. I just want to keep my teeth.
That's right. Do you ever look across on the offenses and you're facing these guys on our own defense and go, I'm glad I don't have to face these guys on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely sometimes. Especially like Kaysen, because he knows how to read the ball and the quarterback so well. I just would not like to get hit by him.
Sick of this guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's all power.
Mhm.
I mean, my gosh, he is so strong.
Oh, yeah. He
And
does not hold
fast
back.
and everything. Yeah, exactly. You've seen some of those hits. Last year we had Will Strickland, and Will was just big dude anyway. But it's like Kaysen can almost be unassuming because he's not super tall, but he's built like a what, and he hits like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to be the key to the offense in 24?
Ooh, I think one of the major keys right now is going to be our offensive line and the connection of our quarterbacks to wide receivers, and just making sure that we're all on the same page and knowing exactly what we're supposed to do.
Now you're in spring ball. As this airs, we're getting close to the end of spring ball, and you've got some quarterbacks with a lot of talent battling it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And it's definitely good to see the competition because it brings out who really knows what they're doing, who can put the ball on the spot when they need to. And it just brings out a lot of different aspects of what we need in a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. You got three or four guys taking reps. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not just a two-way battle or anything like that. There's not the heir apparent or anything. We've got good quarterbacks, of course we got Nick is right there. And then we brought in a transfer, walking stick. And, of course, then you also got,
which, by the way, I'll say it again, is a great name.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. And then we got Lindsay out back there too. And and there's just a few more guys. We'll be bringing in more quarterbacks and just trusting the process. And that's one of the things that you saw as well coming up, is that you didn't enter as a freshman and they said, you're starting. No. It's about development. Yeah. And that's really what they've done and put you into position to be successful as a receiver. What are some of the important aspects that you took away from being patient and allowing yourself to develop as an athlete and a football player?
I'd say the biggest thing that I took away along my journey from my freshman year to now was learning how to really read the defense and get open with my routes and know how to properly put myself in a position so that the quarterback can give me the ball without having to make a crazy throw like a jump ball or put it down at my feet so that way the DB can't get it. Patience is just one of the biggest things that I've been working on, and it's really helped me drive the rest of my the rest of my progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that patience and buying into the system, listening to your coaches, be coachable, taking advice, put you where you are today.
Yes, sir.
And that's a testament, because I think a lot of kids come in and it's like, dude, I've been doing scout team for a year and a half now. This is terrible. But your day's coming.
Yeah.
And the scout team, as Troy said earlier, is just as important as those guys that take the field on Saturday.
Yes,
because,
sir.
We talk about iron sharpens iron all the time. And if those scout team are going to go halfway against our offense or our defense, it's not making anybody better.
No, it's not giving us the looks that we need. And it's not giving us that effort that we're looking for when we're out on the field and we're actually going to be running through these plays.
Right. Well, and you guys are going to experience something pretty cool too. Somebody that, a couple of guys that you played with over the last couple of years are coming in as grad assistants. Jordan Cooper, the former quarterback, who's now Coach Coop, I don't know. That's just weird to think, but it makes sense. And then Cade Kloster-Hodak, another Mason City kid, he's coming in and coaching. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah.
Is it going to be tough, though? Because you were sitting in a locker room with them last year talking smack, and now it's like they hold a little they're GAs. Let's be honest, not a lot of authority.
I imagine Coop held some authority regardless.
Yeah.
He kind of.
Yeah.
I've always looked up to Coop more as a coach, just because the first 2.5 years that I was here, I just was sitting back and watching what he was doing for the most part. So then when I finally got to play with him, it was more of I was trying to learn from him and how I could help better his reads and open up the offense. But when looking at Cade, it'll be harder to see him as a coach now, because he's just been my friend for so long, and he's helped outside of football. But I think having them both as coaches will be very helpful for our offense.
You've learned a lot and obviously earned that position. And then you just mentioned you tried to do things that would make it easier for Coop to find you and be able to get that ball to you. So specifically, what things does a receiver do to help the quarterback find him?
Well, so one thing that me and Coop actually were really connected on was early in the season, we figured out that almost any time that I was going to go on a fade or some sort of route that was going to compromise the safety or the cornerback's position, they can just put it back shoulder, because they're always going to try and be positioning me inside, because they don't want me to stem back inside. So whenever he would put the ball to my outside shoulder, it was always easy for me to reroute, break down, and catch the backside shoulder ball.
I'm just always amazed that Andy, I mean, as a couple of old linemen, I mean, just the fact that you have the ability, the quarterback has the ability, I should say, to put the ball anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, that is like, I want you to put it over here, you know, and it's like a pinpoint. I know it's not always that, you know, and quarterbacks take a lot of guff, like, oh, you overthrew that. He was a little short on that. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's the, you know, quarterback's fault or the receiver's fault. But when that's the play and it's a passing play, it's really it's the two of you, you know, and I don't know, you know, it's not about where the blame is at, but boy, when it works out, you know, sometimes you just go, that was an amazing pass. How did he do that? And then sometimes it was like, well, that was all on the receiver. You know, he made that happen.
Yeah. Right.
You know, yeah. And of course you did that. And boy, you both look good when it comes away with yardage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and one of the things that I always find so amazing is that, you know, I think by and large, your typical football fan thinks that, okay, you know, number 29, he's going to split out wide to the right side, and then he runs a route, and that's just what you were predestined to do the whole time. Now, it's through time you learn that, okay, it really depends on the defense. The quarterback and the receivers have to be so in tune to look at that defense and say, okay, this is where his defender is lining up. So that means that he's probably going to take this route. But if that receiver cheats in, cheats out, something like that, that's going to change the route that he runs entirely. Mm-hmm. And to try to keep all that straight. Now, for somebody like George that can go out there and say, all right, he's playing me head up, I have to do it this way. You know, that can be relatively simple. But the quarterback's got to see 3 or 4 or even sometimes 5 different options out there and know, okay, this is how it's lined up. This is where these guys are going to go. It's such a complex game.
Yes,
how do you simplify it?
Well, there really is no way of simplifying it, but just going over the plays constantly and working through them, like actually running through the routes and getting balls thrown to you by the quarterback constantly, it helps get in tune with where your quarterback should hit you at and how you should be running your route. So I wish it could be as simple as just looking at film and you could say, oh yeah, I need to do this here right now, so that way I'll be open. But really you need to go through these concepts over and over and over again, because it takes time to be able to learn how to read the safety and when he's going to play quarters or when he's going to sit in the middle. Mm-hmm. And it just takes a lot of reps with the quarterbacks, so that way you guys will have that connection of where the ball should be thrown, when it should be thrown, and how it should be placed.
Yeah.
You're a fast guy. And so are there any plays that are designed that the coach is just like, well, we're not going to throw it to George, but what we're going to do is we're going to burn out that corner all day long and just try to smoke him. And they're just to the point where they're like, okay, he's gassed. And now we're going to throw it again to George because you can beat him.
Yeah. Well, there's not any routes that are decoys, because in the concepts that we have now, every route in the play could get the ball.
Is open. Yeah.
Due to how the quarterbacks are reading the progressions now. Mm-hmm. But I do actually run a lot of deep routes now, because it does tire out the safeties in the corners.
Well, they start out running backwards. You know, look, the number 29 means something to our family. My son Tanner was a corner. He was number 29. Okay. And I couldn't believe how many I mean, it's just, I was like, I never paid attention to how much backwards running you do.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then our son Jack is coming. He's going to play with you at Waldorf. He's a freshman coming in. He's going to be a corner as well. And so that'll be great. I can't, you'll have to tell me how that goes. You'll have to challenge him.
I'll challenge him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. I love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, make them run. Tire them out.
That's right. I will. I'll make them all run.
Yeah. That's awesome. I figured that there was something like that because that's exactly what I'm not a coach. Andy, you and I aren't coaches like that.
Not even close.
Like that's the depth of our strategy. We're like, we got a really fast guy here.
Yeah, get him fast. Go down the field as fast as you
Make
can.
that guy run
back
with you the whole time. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then on the same note, we talk about, okay, the quarterbacks are going to go through the progressions, the receivers, depending on what the safety is given, what looks. But that's their job too. Is that they want to give you a pre-snap look that's going to. And then morph into something else. So, yeah, it's it's so complex that there's nothing that, if something doesn't go, like when it goes right, it looks beautiful. Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, whoa, especially if you get a broken pocket and your quarterback is starting to look around and scramble, that's when you guys get to like say, all right, this is sandlot ball now. We're just going to do whatever we can to get open, get back to your receiver.
You would think that most football players, would be outstanding, like accountants, like they could be filing your taxes because you talk about the complexity of the playbook and all of the things you have to look out for. You think, be like, listen, after you're done with all this stuff, you could probably be a really good, tax accountant because it's really a leviathan of information out there. And you just apply that skill towards it,
We actually have a lot of sport finance guys on our team.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
Sport finance?
Sport finance.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they could figure out ways to get the Gridiron Club some more money.
We'll have a whole new committee.
That's right. Sport Finance Committee.
Yeah.
We need to do that. I think they call that.
I have done some guest speaking for, I don't even know what the class is, but it has something to do with fundraising and sports at Waldorf.
All right. That's very interesting.
Not really.
I didn't think so.
I appreciate you supporting me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Always here.
Right.
So we talked a little bit, George, about what you do on your spare time. Is there you got go-to movies or TV shows?
Yeah, there we go.
When you don't have to watch what you're eating or look at the playbook?
Ooh, I'd say one show that I love to binge watch all the time is Breaking Bad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I thought that was a one and done for me. Get through it and go.
It was like 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, do you go back and start watching it from the?
So I haven't watched it in a super long time, but when I did go back and do it, I just went back, started it all the way over, and watched it all the way through.
Yeah, I did that with Cheers. I continue to do it, with Cheers.
Or another one that I used to do it with a lot is Prison Break.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never got into Prison Break, but I watched Breaking Bad. I did watch that, but I work.
The guy that works has an office at the county jail.
Yeah,
2 different counties. You're not interested in watching Prison Break?
No. And but there's something cathartic about watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I've spent my career working with public safety.
Yeah.
And you're rooting for the guy that's making meth.
Right.
Boy, I sure hope he kills his brother-in-law.
I know.
That's an
DEA or whatever it is. Yeah.
You're rooting for him like,
I know.
And then you got to sit back like,
all his brother-in-law wanted to do was make beer in his garage. What's the problem with this guy? Let him be. Yeah, I'm with you on that. My favorite character, it turned out to be Saul, and he did get his own TV show.
Yeah,
called Saul.
Can't go wrong with Saul.
Yeah, for sure.
Saul Goldman.
Yeah, I started watching a show called that's about Cloud9. It was like Superstore. I mean, somebody had told me about that. Like
Not
6 seasons or whatever. You heard of that?
Nope.
Yeah, I started watching that. I kind of watch that all the time, like at lunch or whatever. It was like just a little half-hour show that used to be on NBC. I never even heard of it. Yeah, funny.
Nope.
It's like The Office, but at like a Walmart.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
got nothing.
How about what kind of music you like? What do you like to listen to? What keeps you fired up?
A little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got a playlist for game day?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've discussed who has to take their shirt off, or at least how that's going to be decided. Who's going to be in charge of the music?
Yeah, that's going to change. Yeah.
That's one that I've thought about a lot,
Bump box?
actually.
Really? Are you going to be the guy?
I don't know. I don't think I'll be the guy, just because.
Who do you think will be?
I bet, if anything, maybe I could see Kai Angelo taking it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I was
Someone-
thinking maybe somebody like, DB Jeremiah Smith or
Yeah.
something like that. I could see him take that over.
Yeah.
Maybe Gavin Johnson.
I don't know. I don't know if they'd let him take
Exactly. Who wants a little bit of Neil Diamond?
I would love a little bit of Neil Diamond.
doesn't like
And
Neil
with
Diamond?
Gavin's amazing mustache, I feel like he could really drive really any music selection home. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mustache that gives him the power. It's kind of like Samson's hair.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I did notice this year we don't have a lot of mullets on the team anymore.
What happened there?
Yeah, what's going on? I mean,
I don't know. I guess the trend's just out.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
No, the trend's definitely not out. But
I mean, that is not a trend that
Well, because like
Morgan seeing leaving.
Morgan Touchdown Dostal, who graduated a couple of years ago, him and his cronies, Sam Christensen. Yeah.
That one time.
Those guys were big into the. One time was 2 times in one game.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
That one game is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Correct. That was.
Yeah, so that's not the big thing. All right, so okay, so movies. Are you like you like to watch current movies, or they're old movies? You like to watch Disney animated movies, or what?
I like to watch a mix of current and old movies.
So like, what's an old movie? Let's talk about that, because old to Troy and I is probably a little different.
Like, I used to watch the Warriors a lot, actually, with my grandparents growing up.
I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? What is that?
Warriors?
Yeah.
It's like this group of teenagers in New York, and they're called the Warriors,
Okay.
and they just go out and cause trouble, basically.
All right.
Nice.
But it was an older movie, and I used to watch that a lot.
Made in like 2010.
No, I think it was made in like the 80s.
Yeah. Sounds like.
Whoa.
It sounds
Like
like,
the
an
90s.
80s movie.
Holy smoke! Yeah, it does.
You know, the Warriors.
I'm surprised you guys have never heard of that. It's a pretty popular movie.
I've not heard of it. I'm going to go look it up. I'll write it down right now.
Yeah, write that down.
Like earlier, I was making notes and you made fun of me. I'll write down the
No, I would
Warriors.
never.
See.
I would never.
THE.
Warriors. Yeah. Do you know how you heard of Warriors before?
Yeah, you know, it's that. Although if you look at it when I
to
write
look
it,
it
it's
up.
probably not that beautiful.
So your genre? Do you like action movies
Yeah.
and show? Okay, so you're not like a comedy guy. Like
I like to watch some comedies.
stupid
but-
humor.
Yeah.
Into that. Well, we talked about The Office. You know, like one of my all-time iconic movies is always going to be Animal House. Have you ever seen it? That's a no.
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
John Belushi,
Yes.
I'm not good with actors' names.
Delta Tau Kai.
That's a movie from 1979.
Yeah,
Ooh, maybe not.
It,
probably before you were born.
Yeah. Oh,
John might have been even.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it was 79 or 81, somewhere really early in that period.
Yeah.
And that is what I based my thinking of what college experience would
Yep.
be about.
For sure.
And I was wrong. But I tried.
They want
Boy,
you to
did
go
I
to
try.
class. They want you to go to class.
Yeah.
Weird. So, George, tell us a little bit about
Drunk and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
James Brzezowski. 0.00. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. It's
Check
great-
it out. Yeah.
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 That might be something. And again, you gotta
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt, because it's 80s humor. So, tell us a little bit about your family back home. Who all you got?
Got my mom, 2 brothers, and my grandparents, grandma and grandpa.
Yep.
Then I got an aunt and some cousins.
All right.
All over Mason City?
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Do they
Does your
come to
mom
the
make
games?
it? Yeah, does your mom make it to most games?
Yeah. She
Awesome.
makes it to just about every single home game.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Or what's your mom's name?
Amber.
Amber.
Wonderful.
And your siblings, what are their names?
Jacob, he's the oldest. He is 24. And then I actually have about 10 siblings.
Holy
But-
moly, dude.
Yeah, but 7 of them live in New York with my dad.
Okay.
Mhm.
So my younger brother that lives here with me, His name is Justin, and he is 18. He's graduating this year.
Nice. So is he an athlete as well?
Yeah, he's going to. He hasn't decided where he's going yet, but he's going to go to college to play not football, baseball.
I see that there's a theme here. Jacob, George, and Justin.
Okay.
We got a lot
Are
of
they
J's.
all J's?
We got a lot of J's in the family.
And did it ever occur, though, to your folks that Jorge, George, spelled with a J, does look like?
Yeah, because I'm actually named after my dad.
Okay.
So when he moved here, everyone would call him Jorge.
Right.
All right.
But he's George.
Yeah, but yeah.
He's like, listen, it's George. What's so hard? It's George. You don't say, like if it, say Hoost, it's just.
Yeah.
Just George, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
So then to make it less confusing for everybody, he just had everyone call him Louis, which is what I should have done.
How is that less confusing? To go from
I don't know.
Was that a middle name or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our middle name is Louis, but he just have everyone call him Louis.
all right.
I
So
don't
you're
know
a
how-
junior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
George Rivera the second.
That adds a J.
The
So
second.
not
Is there a
junior.
So you'd have to have a son and name him George as well, and then there'd be a third.
Yeah.
A 3.
And then you call him Trey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our new Deuce. Remember Coach Deuce?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. He was a student coach for a while. He was around for one season, but he was a junior, and so we just said, so do they call you the Deuce?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so we called him Deuce.
He wasn't prepared for that.
No, he wasn't. Not at all. So, George, one of the things we do as we're getting close to wrapping up, we always give our esteemed guests the opportunity to say the last word, whether you just want to, wax eloquent about something that you think is important, if you have any questions for us, or if you just want to say something to the fans. And the reason I make this intro so long is so that your brain can, you're like, what am I going to say? So
He's pretty quick though.
he is a smart kid.
Yeah.
Smart kid. So what do you got for us, man?
Well, first, I would just like to thank you guys for having me on the show,
You bet.
giving me this opportunity to come on and talk to you guys.
Our pleasure.
For the most part, though, I just can't wait for the season to start. Wait to see our fans come out and support us, and I'm just looking forward to getting our foot to the pedal and starting the grind up.
That's right. Well, that's awesome. Well, folks, you heard it from one of the smartest guys in the room.
Next week
Top 3.
will be the opportunity for the fans to get together and come out and watch that spring ball game.
That's right.
This drops on the 5th of April.
That's right.
And next weekend on the 13th.
Get your
Come on out.
Yeah, get it in order, folks. Start making your plans. Come on out. Let's say let's start the tailgating at, say, 10. Mm-hmm. That way you can get real good and unruly for the spring game.
Great.
But
my wife will be so happy with that because it's prom. So,
oh, yeah, that's great. That'll be great. Yeah. So, yeah, we want to see everybody out there. Come out and see George at work. And, we're looking forward to the season as well, George. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, episode 3, as a matter of fact, of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. We want to thank you guys for taking some time and getting to know Jorge Rivera a little bit better. Remember, look for number 29.
You bet.
Yeah, out there on the field.
Not driven by ego.
No,
sir.
Yep. So looking forward to seeing him do great things and leading our Warriors throughout the season and just making everybody a little bit better. So again, thanks so much for listening. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington, and forever and always, go Warriors. You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join. even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstrike. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America. Next week on the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast.
Well, I've got a shirt that I wear. It's a truck pulling a boat, and it says, "I hate pulling out." We're going along with our theme of introducing you to new folks. So, Coach Tom Clary.
Hey, Coach.
Coach,
Thank you guys for having me.
you're going to get a job in Forest City, and then just kind of roundabout sort of way, you're going to start working for Waldorf University, and you're going to be feeding us intelligence.
The Manchurian candidate.
Manchurian, yeah, something like that.
MOC.
Oh, MOC, Manchurian candidate. So, Coach, how much of that is true?
You know, at a linebacker level especially, but our whole defense, we talk, you know, you're building from the ground up. So you have to be correct with your alignments before you can be correct with your technique. At our level especially, there's a big emphasis on these kids that they're in charge of their own improvement over the summer. So this is my time to tell the story. I
Yes.
think she chased me around for
There you go.
numerous
There you
years.
go.
And I
I
just
am
kept
sure
batting her away, you know,
Yeah.
playing the field, doing the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I'm a big Tommy Boy guy.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my
yeah?
favorite movie.
5 minutes.
Sibley O'Scheiden.
Yeah, Sibley O'Cheaton.
O'Cheaton?
It's O'Cheaton. It's O'Cheaton.
Oh, I thought.
Where did you get
I had
that?
to correct you.
I have said it that way.
O'Scheiden.
There's no.
Heard that
It's not a big enough town for them to come around and correct me.
Haven't you ever watched like,
It's like
Iowa
going
High School
fertile
athletics?
For Tile.
Oh, yes.
For Tile.
Sibley O'Cheaton. That's wrestling, women's or girls basketball, boys
Look,
basketball.
I can't say every word right. You know who dresses all in green and really wears it well.
Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, you darn it.
Hey,
Bad.
now,
The text I was on, I sent the evil leprechaun picture.
now, I remember when Dort was, 20 some years ago, when Dort was just I'm almost a doormat.
You know, we're trending in the right direction for sure at Waldorf football. A lot to look forward to, a lot of excitement for next fall. So any support we can get, we're going to take. Get out in the community.
We loosened him up
spot.
enough to where he actually admitted the time machine exists.
Yes.
And forever and always,
Go
Warriors.
Warriors.